Who are you and what is your profession?
My name is Steve McDonald. I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse since 1991, so about going on 22 years this year. And then I got my master's degree in 2008 to be a pediatric nurse practitioner.
What interested you in taking on this profession originally?
I was very interested in science and the human body when I was in grade school all the way through high school. Originally I was on the track to become a physician, go to med school. And then when I was in college at the University of Minnesota, I started working as a nursing station technician, sort of a nurse's aide. And I saw the nursing role, and especially in the intensive care unit, and how the nurse's lifestyle was much better than the physician's lifestyle. They were there less hours, they were doing shift work, and they also got more patient contact at the bedside rather than the physicians. So I was interested in going to nursing school.
So what type of gender stereotypes do you feel people have about your profession?
Well, it's a very female-dominated profession, so there's very few males, and I think that the characteristics that make a good nurse are caring and soft and empathetic, and I think there's a lot of stereotypes about the males in the nursing role being less masculine or primarily gay men. So I think that that's one of the stereotypes that enters into nursing.
Have you seen or heard others acting on these stereotypes?
Yeah, so being a male nurse, there's a lot of families that have really hard time calling me a nurse. So I introduce myself as I'm a nurse practitioner, but I'm in a role that is very much I put in orders and order medications and do tests and procedures. And so because I'm a man, a lot of the families say, oh, the doctor was just here. So they assume that I'm a doctor because I'm in this role and I'm a man, whereas my female counterparts don't get that exact same thing. So it's easier for society to think of a man as a physician and females as nurse practitioners.
Do you feel there's a greater number of one gender working in your field? And I mean, why would you think this?
Yeah, when I was in nursing school, there was about 10% of my nursing class was men. And that was one of the higher percentages. And there's information out there now that they think by 2025 that probably about a quarter of nurses will be males. I think that one of the things that's happening is that the females the women that have been nurses for a long time are starting to retire. And as we get more and more men interested in nursing, that percentage of women to men will change.
So what do you think the biggest misconception about your profession related to gender inequality is?
Probably what we talked about before, that the men that are in nursing are somehow, I get this comment a lot, so why didn't you go to medical school? Or you're close to being a doctor. And I think that the roles, especially for men, are that the perception anyway is that they weren't smart enough to go to medical school, or they weren't driven enough, and hopefully people will start to understand that it's a different profession altogether. And there's reasons that I chose to go into nursing rather than medicine, not just because it wasn't an option for me.
Sure. So after going on 22 years, have you seen a change in the public perception or the stereotypes?
I think it's slowly changing. I think the assumption that male nurses are, one, not qualified enough to go to medical school, and two, are primarily gay is all changing. I think that, at least in the nursing profession that I'm in my realm, there's very few men that are in nursing that are gay, actually. So I think that the perception is slowly changing both in society and in nursing.
Sure. Is there anything else you'd like to cover as well? So I work in the pediatric nurse practitioner program. And I think that there's an additional layer because in pediatrics, I think people who take care of kids are also thought of as even more of a caregiving personality, which is even more trending towards female characteristics. And I think that that adds another layer of stereotype that on top of just nursing and medicine in the realm of pediatrics. All right, thank you.